Prime Minister Trudeau, on your pre-budget tour, you made around $25 billion in new spending and loan commitments. Will your government be introducing any new taxes or raising any current ones in order to pay for these promises?
We've made it very clear from the very minute we got elected back in 2015 that we were going to support the middle class and people working hard to join it, which is why one of the very first things we did was raise taxes on the wealthiest 1% and lower them for the middle class. We're going to continue to focus on affordability. We're going to continue to focus on putting money in the pockets of Canadians. There are no plans to raise taxes on the middle class. We are focused on delivering the investments, the supports, the housing, the child care, the National School Food Program, and the jobs in a growing clean economy that this country needs. We have one of the strongest fiscal balance sheets in the G7, the lowest debt to GDP ratio. We're the third largest economy in the world with a AAA credit rating. We're going to continue to make fiscal responsibility the lowest debt to GDP ratio. We're the third largest economy in the world with a AAA credit rating. We're going to continue to make fiscal responsibility at the core.
Maybe he's saying with a AAA credit rating specifically
for every generation.
So countries by GDP. So Canada is number 9. So maybe he's talking about credit ratings. So countries with AAA credit. Technically, he's right if we went by Moody's. We would be the third largest economy with a AAA credit rating. These guys gave the United States a AAA credit rating in 2008 and 9. So how accurate are these credit ratings?
Yesterday, you called for an investigation. Would you accept an Israeli investigation of the incident?
We need a fully open, transparent, independent, and rapid investigation into what happened. I have to directly take issue with what Prime Minister Netanyahu said yesterday when he said, well, this just happens in conflicts and in wartime. No, it doesn't just happen. And it shouldn't just happen. When you have aid workers for an extraordinary organization like World Central Kitchen risking their lives every day in an incredibly dangerous place to
That's what you just said. They're risking their lives.
Who are experiencing a horrific humanitarian catastrophe, that is not okay that they get hit by targeted missiles like this. The reality is we need much more humanitarian support to flow into Gaza, much more protection of civilians, of innocents, and of aid workers. That's why we need a humanitarian ceasefire. We need for Hamas to lay down its arms. We need for the hostages to be released. And we need a ceasefire to allow this humanitarian catastrophe to end as quickly as possible.
Company to delay the plant in Oakville is a sign that the plan needs to be reworked or is backfiring?
I think obviously different companies will make decisions that make sense for them, but what we're seeing is an incredible adoption rate of electric vehicles and the manufacturing and the entire manufacturing chain that we're building up in Canada, from mines to battery assembly to auto assembly to the recycling that goes after.
You've stopped a lot of mines.
Canada
what are you talking about?
And Canadians have seen that being lower emission in our daily lives is also good for the planet, but also good for a growing economy and great jobs. We've continued to draw in investments from around the world, and we'll continue to be there to invest in a strong future as those projects and those jobs are created.
Thank you. Next question.
Jobs.
Dara, Winnipeg Free Press. This is for both you and the Premier. What is Manitoba's carbon tax exemption plan, and was that discussed this morning?
I'm looking forward to sitting down with Wab after this press conference to talk about a range of things that we're working on together. All Canadians know that we need to fight climate change in ways that support families. That's why back in 2016, we put forward a pan-Canadian climate change framework that all premiers and all provinces worked on together to make sure that even as we were putting a price on pollution, it put more money back in the pockets, particularly of middle class and lower income Canadians. Because fighting climate change and helping with affordability are things that even back then matter even more right now. But as I've said multiple times, provinces are free to move forward on their own pricing systems as long as they hit the same levels and the same outcomes that are in place across the country. BC and Quebec have had their own pricing system in place. It's important that it not be free to pollute anywhere in the country. The federal backstop puts more money in the pockets of Canadians while fighting climate change in a very efficient and powerful way, but every province is open to put forward an equivalent plan, and that's what I'm happy to work on with the Premier here and with anyone right across the country.
CTV Winnipeg, you're announcing billions in loans today, the apartment construction and for daycare providers. What's the interest on these loans, and will there be deadlines to pay them back?
There are various models out there. What we're focused on is ensuring low-cost loans for developers who are building affordable homes, low-cost loans for apartments, for public sector and nonprofit sector to be able to purchase and secure affordable rental housing that will last instead of allowing it to be bought up and flipped at higher prices, but also on childcare, long-term affordable loans, low-cost loans to build more infrastructure. This is all about making the math work as we're creating more childcare spaces.
You don't know how to make math work.
More affordable rentals, as we're preventing affordable rentals from falling out of the affordable market into rents that people can't afford. These are all various elements that will be revealed more on budget day, but these initiatives are about allowing the sector and allowing people across the country to be able to afford places to live, to go at the challenge that everyone's facing, to make sure that our economy is fair for every generation.
Thank you, Prime Minister. That concludes.